Thanks, Faye. Good evening, everyone. Another chance for Chelsea to signal some early season intent. The start of their Champions League campaign to come in Munich on Wednesday, live on TalkSport 2. And tonight they will go top of the Premier League, at least temporarily, if they win. Interestingly, this is a fixture that Brentford have fared well in across the Premier League era at times, but very much away from home. And very few, if any, in the ground tonight would have been around to see their last home league win over Chelsea. That was 87 years ago. Here are the teams. Kelleher is the Brentford goalkeeper. Collins, Van den Berg and Pinnock in a back three. Coyote and Lewis Potter for the wing-backs. Yarmoliak, Henderson and Jensen in the middle. Igor Thiago and Schade up front. For Chelsea, the goalkeeper is Sanchez, Fofana, Tosin, Chalobah and Harto at the back. Caicedo and Fernandes holding. Neto, Buonanotte and Gittins behind João Pedro up front. And now West London really shakes to the sound of noise here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Hey Jude rings around the ground as it always does before the game, and often sung with even more gusto at the end of a Brentford win. But Dean, how tough is their task tonight?
Very tough. You know, Chelsea have started the season extremely well, but this is a London derby. As a player, you've sat all day, you've watched the football, you've seen the results, you've seen where you stand now in the league. That anticipation builds throughout the day, and then now, late on a Saturday night, you get your opportunity under the lights in a London derby, and hopefully the game will live up to that anticipation that the players will have felt all day.
Well, isn't it good to have the Premier League back? So much drama already today, late goals, big wins, and we will finish with a West London derby. Brentford against Chelsea, and it is live on TalkSport. Brentford in the red and white shirts, black shorts and black socks. Chelsea in royal blue with white socks, and Brentford will get us underway playing from left to right in the first half. Chelsea from right to left. All of the pre-match theatre beneath the lights here with dark London skies overhead is now done, and the real action can get off and underway. Brentford look out to the right-hand side immediately. Michael Coyote, the wing-back, who was a doubt in the build-up to this game, plays it back to Jordan Henderson, header away by Wesley Fofana for Chelsea. Does look like Chelsea have set up with that back four, and they win a free kick for a foul on João Pedro, who is a very important inclusion for Chelsea tonight. He, another player after the international break, who was a question mark, Enzo Maresca said, in the build-up to this game.
But with his form, there's no way he wouldn't have played, and he will have told the manager that, I'm sure. A little bit of misdirection from Brentford to start the game at the kick-off, looking to launch it to the right-hand side, and all of a sudden a quick kick-off into Jordan Henderson, played out to the right-hand side to Coyote, and the crossing from Henderson was well defended. Even from the kick-off nowadays is a set play.
But a set play with a difference, as you say, because Brentford didn't smash the ball forward. They tried to play it intricately down the right-hand side. It didn't come to anything. Chelsea have got it now on the far side with Enzo Fernandez, long-sleeve blue shirt on, square to Buonanotte, making his Chelsea debut tonight, in from the cold really, and a full debut for Yorel Harto, who at the moment is occupying an inverted role in the middle of midfield. Enzo Fernandez over the halfway line for Chelsea. João Pedro plays it back to Wesley Fofana, who gets a return ball from Neto, and now here's Tosin. They're 10 yards shy of the halfway line. And the 5:30 kick-off, Spurs 3-0 winners at West Ham, who had Thomas Souček sent off. Newcastle beat Wolves with a late Nick Voltemade goal. Fulham struck very late to beat Leeds, a 94th minute own goal. Fulham 1, Leeds 0. Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. Crystal Palace 0, Sunderland 0. Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1. and live on Talk Sport in the first game of the day in the Premier League. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. And Chelsea have it with Chalobah, and he's tried a risky square ball which Kevin Schade was stretching to try and intercept. Chelsea managed to keep possession just about. Fernandes over the halfway line, early infield pass to João Pedro, pops it back to Buonanotte, the diminutive new Chelsea number 40. Brentford have got everybody back behind the ball now, having switched to a back five today. Jamie Gittens for Chelsea, formerly of Borussia Dortmund, looks for Buonanotte on the edge of the penalty area, and a deflection on the slide rule pass. Coyotes managed to keep it in play, then maybe a little too casual with the square ball to Collins. His clearance cannons off Harto, and it's gone behind for a goal kick to Brentford. 3 minutes gone, Brentford 0, Chelsea 0, and here's Dean Ashton.
Well, very much sustained possession already for Chelsea at the start of this game. I think that's something we'll see a lot of in the game, and they have overtaken Enzo Maresca's side, Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, in terms of average possession this season. They will look to dominate the ball, probe and pick their passes, but they can also sit in and defend, and they've shown that already.
Brentford just outside the Premier League relegation zone on goal difference. Igor Thiago, who's had an excellent start to the season, trying to force his way down the left-hand side. 3 goals he's scored in all competitions, and his deep cross is collected unchallenged by Sanchez, the Chelsea goalkeeper, all in bright orange, and that fleeting opportunity for Brentford is gone. But no question that their number 9, I mean, he almost feels like a new signing in itself, Dean Ashton, because he really couldn't play much of a part last season at all.
No, and I think he's shown already that he wants to take that role as the main centre forward and be the one that can be relied on for goals, because they're going to need it. You know, to take out the number of goals that certainly Mbeumo and Visser produced last season is going to take some.
Good noise around this tight atmospheric ground. Always a good atmosphere here. One of the smaller grounds, of course, in the Premier League, but plenty of character about it. Chelsea with it back high up the pitch. Buonanotte, left-hand side, crosses for João Pedro. Shot deflected away by Collins, who then hacks it clear. He was on his knees at one point there, Collins, but quickly reacted to hook the ball into touch, and it's a Chelsea throw.
Yeah, seriously sharp play, wasn't it? Between João Pedro and Buonanotte, who just reversed it back to João Pedro, opened his body up to shoot with the left foot. I mean, it was brilliant from Collins. Not only did he dive out to block it, almost like a swan, his body position, lay on the ground, neck out, legs out, brilliant block.
Well, he is a formidable force at the heart of the Brentford back line, and they go long towards Igor Thiago, hooks it onto Schade in the penalty area, twisting, turning, and the shot is deflected over the top. Chances at both ends, corner to Brentford.
Yeah, that's poor defending from Chelsea. There's no way that ball should go all the way up in the air, and you allow Thiago just to control it, cushion it into the path of Kevin Schade. He does the right thing, he just tries to shift it and shoot in a tight area, but it's brilliant from Tosin. He doesn't commit, he stands his ground, he just waits and gets a brilliant block in.
Well, blocked by Tosin, who is screaming at his colleagues. Enzo Fernandez has had to come across to the near side of the field for Chelsea, and he's changing his boots as Brentford take the corner, and he's not back on the pitch. Yarmolenko delivers a cross, and the header is wide from Schade again. They had Pinnock, Van den Berg and Collins all forward there. Enzo Fernandez, having sorted his footwear out, is back on, and it is still Brentford 0, Chelsea 0, but a lively start to the West London derby.
Yeah, very much so. That'll definitely be the kit man that's getting the blame, for sure, for that change of footwear for Enzo. And strange to be off the pitch because of that when your team have got a corner as the captain.
Is it a half a size too small or something like that?
No, it'll be a change of stud wear, I'm sure. Maybe from a mould to a stud.
Jensen for Brentford, little dink up the left-hand side. Chelsea get Fofana in the way of it, and Tosin stabs it over the top of Yarmolenko, and Enzo Fernandez looks long over the halfway line. Pedro Neto will chase, but that's easy for Van den Berg to send it back to Kevin Kelleher, the new Brentford number 1 for the season. All in bright green away to our left-hand side. We are sat only 10 rows or so from the subs benches. We're right behind the Chelsea dugout, and Enzo Maresca arms folded right in front of us, and to his left, of course, Keith Andrews, who has quite the task ahead of him this season, replacing the man that many feel is irreplaceable at Brentford, Thomas Frank. And Keith Andrews, who knows the club well, of course, and got his first win in the first home game of the season against Aston Villa. Buonanotte tracking back against Henderson. Good industry from the Brighton loanee, and Chalobah now with a clever touch to definitely dart away from Igor Thiago, and he's going to be booked for what was definitely a foul, but you can't help but think 7.5 minutes into the game, was that really a yellow card?
Well, I think he's clearly held Chalobah back as he's turned away from him, but also the fact that he then kicked the ball away, he backheeled it away from the Chelsea player, so they couldn't take the free kick. Maybe just that extra action meant that Stuart Outwell gave him the yellow card.
Yes, that is fair. Delaying the restart is a bookable offence, and if that's the reason why the yellow card was produced, then you can understand it. Harto beaten to the ball by the former Liverpool man, Sepp van den Berg, a regular for Brentford these days in the heart of what is a back three tonight, Pinnock having come in for his first Premier League appearance of the new season. Harto will take a throw for Chelsea, and they'll knock it back, the Dutchman, the former Ajax man, to the feet of Tosin over the halfway line with an angled ball to the inside right, Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea quick and fleet-footed in possession, but Brentford have matched them for the first 8.5 minutes, and there've been two, I guess, what you'd call half chances at both ends so far. Buonanotte, sweeping ball out to the left and controlled in his chest by Gittens. He's got rapid pace, darting away from Coyote, trying to track back, and helped out by Jensen. And between the two of them, they fended off the threat of Gittens, who then committed a foul. And that's a free kick to Brentford inside their own penalty area, Dean.
Yes, a couple of times now that Gittens has been given the ball and space to run at Coyote, who's defended well. He's a quick boy himself, and is stuck with Gittens a couple of times there as he tried to go on the outside and the inside, and defended well.
Well, we mentioned Chelsea back in Champions League action for the first time this season. Next week, next Wednesday, live on TalkSport 2. That night you'll be able to hear Liverpool against Atletico Madrid on TalkSport. And before that, on Tuesday evening, 5:45 for Athletic Bilbao against Arsenal on TalkSport 2. And on Thursday, what a game at St James's, Newcastle against Barcelona on TalkSport. Manchester City, Napoli on TalkSport 2. The Champions League back on the network next week. Crossfield ball for Brentford towards Coyote on the near side, the right. He'll keep it in play down the near side of the field. Really emerged as an important player last season. Jensen's delivery is hooked up into the air by Chalobah, trying to head clear at the second attempt, and he's fouled by Igor Thiago again. And that is a free kick to Chelsea on the edge of their own penalty area. 10 gone, and we are still waiting for the first goal of the evening here at the G-Tech Community Stadium.
Yeah, Chalobah's a player that I've really enjoyed watching develop. Went out on loan, of course, and then has come back and really owned now that centre-back role and matured into a leader almost at the back for Chelsea.
Well, he's one of the veterans, Dean, at the age of 26. A very young Chelsea team tonight, average age of less than 25. Buonanotte is blocked off by Collins and then wins it back neatly off Jensen. Wide from Harto to Gittens, who darts infield from the left, and he was tracked all the way by Coyote. Play continues, Chalobah rifles it over the top, but the referee Stuart Outwell had actually blown for a Brentford foul and a Chelsea free kick, and Coyote and plenty of the Brentford fans are upset about that.
I think they're a little annoyed that Stuart Outwell allowed the play to continue for as long as it did before pulling it back. I think there was definitely a shove in the back of Gittens, and actually he caught the back of his leg, but it was the shove to start with by Coyote on Gittens that was the free kick. Stuart Outwell allowed the play to continue just a bit too long for Brentford's liking.
Well, it's a long way out, left of centre, 30 yards or so, Dean Ashton, but Pedro Neto has got the ball in his arms. Tosin can hit them from range, and as can Enzo Fernandez. There are plenty forward for Chelsea should they decide to cross. Two in the Brentford wall, away to our left-hand side at the home end of the G-Tech. Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. There's a fleeting conversation between Enzo Fernandez and Pedro Neto, who puts one arm up into the air, delivers it in high, left-footed, headed down, good save by Kelleher. Tossin's headed down, and the flag was up anyway.
Yeah, just went a little bit early, Tossin, with his run. He sort of stepped offside, tried to get back onside. It was too late, the header was low, and well saved by Kelleher, who just strayed.
Good handling by the Brentford goalkeeper. And forward ball by Coyote, and then a back heel infield by Jensen, which is careless. Right in front of the watching head coach Keith Andrews, who is 45 today. And casual with his dark trousers and his long sleeve shirt, but not quite as casual as Enzo Maresca, who's got blue jeans and trainers on today. Chalobah on the halfway line for Chelsea, a walking pace.
He has got the full Italian look, hasn't he? Like he's walking the streets of Milan.
Here goes Pedro Neto, darting down the inside right for Chelsea. Low ball in, cut up by Pinnock at the near post. And Enzo Fernandez will try and keep the ball in on the far side to right. He does ahead of Yarmoliak. Backwards it goes to Fofana, now Caicedo, middle of the Brentford half. And Chelsea yet to create that clear-cut opportunity as yet. Remember, Chelsea will go top of the Premier League if they win tonight. It's very early days, but we will have all the goals as they go in tomorrow from the top flight. Burnley against Liverpool, and the Manchester derby at 4:30 as well. Talk Sport for all the goals as they go in. And on the far side of the field is Pedro Neto, down by the corner flag. He's trying to twist and turn away from keen Lewis Potter, shuffles in field and was tripped. And it looked an obvious free kick. And Pedro Neto not happy with something else. He's gone to have a word with the assistant referee. Maybe feels that the flag should have gone up in the build-up anyway. Chelsea have another free kick in a dangerous area, and they are very good from set pieces so far this season.
Yes, they are. They will be dangerous from these, but it was brilliant from Pedro Neto. He chased it down when he had no right to really win it in the corner, held on to it, then faced Lewis Potter up, who shouldn't have allowed him to turn and face him, and then a good bit of skill to win the free kick.
4 set-piece goals for Chelsea this season, 5 if you include penalties. 4 of those have come from corners. This is a free kick not far away from the corner flag. Taken short by Pedro Neto, actually, out to Caicedo, back out wide to the right. Enzo Fernandez with lots of time to cross. Up goes Chalobah with the looping header. Here comes Kelleher, and he'll let it drop into his chest, and it's still 0-0 on Talk Sport.
Yeah, it's a decent delivery, actually, from Enzo Fernandez. And Chalobah just got there first, stretching slightly, missed the flight of the ball, I think, to what he wanted, and didn't get a full enough header on it.
Here is Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea in the centre circle. We're getting a return pass layoff from Buonanotte, who might not have expected to make his Chelsea debut at this relatively early stage, but of course with the injuries and the managing of minutes, he's been thrust into the action. Pedro Neto with a weaving run towards the edge of the penalty area, but a sea of red and white shirts surround him. Brentford with the big defender Pinnock, the number 5, hooking the ball clear, high up towards halfway. Schade jumping with Caicedo, who won it in the air. Beautiful bit of control by Enzo Fernandez to pluck it out of the air and nudge it wide to Neto. Onto the overlapping João Pedro, whose cross is deflected and then sliced behind by Sepp van den Berg. Good build-up play by Chelsea as they win the corner. Applauded that by Enzo Maresca.
Yeah, super football, wasn't it? Enzo Fernandez with great control out to Neto, and him and João Pedro have got a really great understanding. Just a couple of bits of combination play between the two have been superb and sharp and too quick for Brentford. Vandenberg in the end putting it behind for the corner,
which is taken short to Gittins, and now Caicedo nudges the ball back out wide to Neto, hugging the touchline, getting the boos from the Brentford fans, as you can probably hear. Enzo Fernandez dinks the ball into the box, just over the head of Fofana. There was a touch off Igor Thiago. Brentford can try and break. Keith Andrews has just leapt out of the dugout into his technical area, not happy with something. Brentford have retained possession. Schade, the number 7, out to the near side, and Thiago again, slightly risky back pass towards Van den Berg, who manages to see it all the way back to Kevin Kelleher. What do you make of the way that Brentford have set up so far tonight? Dean Ashton, we knew that Thomas Frank was a very adaptable coach, and Keith Andrews may be showing that so far in the game. as Collins plays the ball square. Yarmoliuk out to the left-hand side. Lewis Potter, the wing-back, is forward. It's 0-0. Lewis Potter running at Fofana, whipping in the cross, and it's too close to Robert Sanchez.
Oh, shame. It was really good football from Brentford. It's the first time one of the centre-backs has stepped out, which is what they need to get that extra man in midfield. It was Collins that stepped out and started the attack, and then when it went out to Lewis Potter, good footwork, just didn't pick out a Brentford attacker. And Keith Andrews has come out a couple of times just to shout a few instructions at Thiago and Kevin Schade. He just wants a little bit more from his two forward players in terms of looking to receive into feet.
Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. It remains on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Brentford against Chelsea live right now. Search Now Sports. Fofana has the ball just over halfway. Good to see him back on the field again. Had so many problems with injuries over recent seasons. Wesley Fofana again restricted last season. Chalobah for Chelsea. Walking pace, early high ball into the penalty area is a brilliant one for Pedro Neto. It split the Brentford back line, but Pedro Neto's touch was a little heavy, and that took it through to Kelleher.
Oh, it's a chance. The touch is going to be better at this level. Like Pedro Neto with the outside of his left foot, just let that get away from him to Kelleher because he was in behind. Lewis Potter just snuck round the back of the Brentford defence and needed a better touch.
Delightfully flighted ball over the top. Van den Berg back to Kelleher, who clattered the ball clear first time right-footed. Clever clearance from Kelleher, but Lewis Potter's header infield is unable to reach Yarmoliuk, and Enzo Fernandez with the outside of his foot will nudge the ball wide for Chelsea. And now Gittins, their number 11, infield down the left-hand side with a low ball into the near post, and again it's straight into the chest of Kelleher, who hammers it clear towards Igor Thiago. Tossin is there retreating, very composed there. Tossin, the tall and slender Chelsea centre-back, to nudge it into the path of Caicedo, and Chelsea can look to build another attack with the score still 0-0.
Yeah, it was good defending, but probably given away a little bit too cheaply by Kelleher. Thiago, yes, had Toast in there, but also there was other Chelsea defenders getting back. It's the first time Gittins has got past Coyote with the left-footed cross in, just needed somebody to dive across the goalkeeper there.
Dean Ashton, former England and West Ham striker, with us tonight. West Ham, who were humbled 3-0 by Tottenham at London Stadium earlier this evening. The former Chelsea manager Graham Potter already feels like that he is under pressure. West Ham had Thomas Souček sent off. Newcastle beat Wolves by a goal to 0. Fulham 1, Leeds 0. Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. Villa still haven't scored this season in the Premier League. Crystal Palace 0, Sunderland 0. Sunderland's good start continues. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0 in Ange Postecoglou's first game in charge of Forest, live on TalkSport earlier. And Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1 in the Premier League. Jensen chips the ball down the middle, cushion header away by Tossin, straight to the feet of Chalobah. Is worth saying, by the way, one of the big headlines in the Championship today: Wrexham 1, QPR 3. Phil Parkinson under pressure, we understand it, at Wrexham. As Coyote sends the ball back to Kelleher on the cover, neatly done by Brentford. Van den Berg out towards Coyote again. That pass was less than neat though from Coyote, straight to the feet of João Pedro. And Chelsea, though they aren't really threatening the Brentford goal with a huge amount at the moment, as certainly the team enjoying more possession and more territory.
Yeah, nearly 70% of the possession for Chelsea already in this game. Brentford sitting pretty deep, allowing Chelsea to have that possession and trying to deny the space. But Buonanotte, João Pedro and Neto want to work in. And they've done a reasonable job so far, Brentford, defensively.
They thought they'd won it back on halfway, but there was a foul by Yarmoliuk on Fofana without any question at all. And that is a Chelsea free kick. Worth saying, in Scotland today, Rangers beaten at home by Hearts. No win in his first 5 league games in charge for Russell Martin. That's the first time that has happened to a Rangers manager. No win in their first 5 league matches since 1978. So the pressure grows on Russell Martin. Crossfield ball by Fofana, right to left, high through the sky, header away by Coyote, and offside given against Gittins, who looks a bit frustrated, throws his arms up into the air. A slightly different look to Chelsea tonight, 4 changes from the win over Fulham, and managing minutes. Enzo Maresca keeps stressing is key for Chelsea at this point of the season. You can understand it, especially with the trip to Germany for the Champions League coming up next week.
And of course, you can't forget the schedule that they've had in the summer, getting all the way to the final and winning the Club World Cup, and having a very short break has to be taken into consideration, of course.
Chelsea doing the double last season and finishing in the Champions League places, which you'd have to say would be considered a resounding success, that first season under Enzo Maresca. Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. Midway through the first half on TalkSport. There's going to be a long throw into the penalty area now. Seeing more and more of this in the Premier League with regularity. The club's trying to make something out of every possible situation. And the long throw taker for Brentford is Michael Coyote. Long throw hurled towards the near side of the 6-yard box. Sanchez couldn't get there amidst a flurry of bodies, and it was hacked away up into the sky by Harter.
Couldn't or didn't want to. I mean, it landed in his 6-yard box. So, to me, I would be expecting my goalkeeper to come up above anybody there and use the long arms that he's got above any player.
Pass on the cover back to Sanchez, whose first time left-footed clearance is a good one. Little flick by João Pedro out of play. A little flimsy at times, Chelsea, with some of this overplaying. Brentford have won it back half the pitch. Coyote goes backwards with the throw. Yarmolenko is on the ball, and now it's all the way back to the big defender Collins, the burly Irishman, the Brentford captain, given away though by Jordan Henderson. Chelsea have it with Enzo Fernandez on halfway, wriggling away from the onrushing Jensen. Chelsea keep possession now with Chalobah over the halfway line and into Brentford territory, being tracked all the way by Sharda, and he runs into Coyote. He could set Igor Thiago away, he elected not to, went square to Henderson. Clever chip over the top towards Lewis Potter, far side the left, and the attack might still be on for Brentford here, though Chelsea have got everybody in royal blue back behind the ball, and it's quite cagey at the moment. 0-0 the score, and you are listening to TalkSport, the home of the Premier League. And more than 500 matches live this season across all competitions on the TalkSport network. And Collins up to halfway, and Brentford hold on to it with Pinnock. And Brentford, you feel, growing in confidence in the game, actually?
I think so. Obviously, they've allowed Chelsea a lot of possession, and they're a bit clunky themselves in their attacking sense. Brentford at the moment, they've given the ball away too often when they've received possession, and there's a bit of a distance between the two forward players and the midfield players. You don't feel as if there's that link yet between the Brentford attacking team.
And so 0-0 it remains as Henderson shepherds the ball back to Kelleher. The latest odds with Betfair, our official betting partner of our Premier League coverage on TalkSport. Brentford to win at 7-2. You can back the draw at 5-2. Chelsea to win 11-8 on. That's all thanks to Betfair. They're playing a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair, 18 plus, and do visit gambleaware.org. There will be a throw for Chelsea on the far side in their right back position. Fofana with the dyed blonde hair will take it long towards João Pedro, who can't hold it up, and Brentford go back to Collins and Van den Berg, and they've protected goalkeeper Kelleher well through the first 26 minutes that we've seen. And at the moment the game is very much being played in the middle third of the pitch. Jensen for Brentford, back it goes to Van den Berg. Jensen making his second Premier League start of the season tonight. Chalobah in the way for Chelsea in front of Igor Thiago, and Caicedo back to toss it over the halfway line is Enzo Fernandez, just to the right edge of the centre circle as the Chelsea fans sing away in the corner of the stadium on the far side. About 1,700 Chelsea fans have made the very short trip, of course, to this part of West London. João Pedro looking to dribble down the left-hand side. It's cleared away by Coyote. The ball is at the feet of Hato. Hato square to Enzo Fernandez, and now Caicedo picks up possession. A 10-yard pass up the middle in a very congested area again towards Buonanotte. And Chelsea having to look wide here. Here comes Fofana on the inside right. Neto is further wide. But again, it's a bit one-paced here for Chelsea. As they look for Buonanotte, it wriggles under his foot, the ball, and it's going to be cleared away, only as far as Buonanotte again. Caicedo, a little quicker now this from Chelsea, out to the inside right, and Fofana on the overlap is Pedro Neto, thinks about the left-footed in-swinging cross and produces one, but it's overhit, and Chelsea didn't really have the height that they needed in the penalty area there.
No, but they're the moments that Chelsea have been poor at. They've had good possession, eventually found the free man out wide where the space is, and then with the opportunity to cross, it's not been good enough at the moment from a Chelsea perspective. It's all too easy really for Chelsea to build up to the final third, and then it's all very tight in the middle and the space is out wide. The delivery's got to be better.
Just seen a shot on our monitor of Cole Palmer here in the commentary position. He is on the bench for Chelsea tonight after that groin injury, and may well feature for the first time since the opening weekend should Chelsea need him tonight. Yarmolenko hustles and bustles his way beyond Buonanotte on the halfway line, and Brentford go out to the right and Coyote. What have you made of Buonanotte so far, Dean? A lot was made of that loan signing from Brighton as a surprise signing, I think it's fair to say.
I think he's been okay, a couple of nice touches, obviously a good bit of combination to give João Pedro the opportunity to shoot that was blocked by Collins. But you certainly wouldn't say that he's played that number 10 role and been so dominant and really dictated play, but that's because there isn't a lot of room in there. To be honest, Brentford have denied that space in particular.
He was on loan at Leicester last season, you might remember Buonanotte. Little chip up the left-hand side from Hato, headed clear by Van den Berg initially, then flicked further away by Henderson. Chelsea first to the second ball. João Pedro miscontrols on halfway. Good pressure by Collins and good teamwork overall from Brentford, who look well organised so far. As we head towards the half-hour mark, and it's still 0-0. Igor Thiago caught by Hato. And the Brentford fans, with big ironic cheers, some of them are out of their seats. It's a free kick to Brentford in the right wing position, and Hato is going to be yellow carded for that challenge.
Yeah, it just felt as if he was a little slow in reacting to Chalobah's header back towards Hato. Thiago was onto it, I think just got there fractionally quicker than Hato, but because his foot was reasonably high in the end, just took him out at sort of hip level, thigh against hip, and receives the yellow card.
Second booking of the game so far, and Igor Thiago having picked up the first, the man who was fouled, and now Henderson and Jensen stand over the free kick for Brentford. It's about 5-6 yards infield. There's another ball on the pitch, so Jensen's going to have to get rid of that. And an opportunity for Brentford to send Collins and Pinnock forward, and this is part of the reason why we're told Chelsea have included Fofana and Hato from the start tonight with Cucurella and Gusto on the bench. It is because of the aerial threat that Brentford possess in this sort of situation. Renowned for their set plays last year. Jordan Henderson will leave it for Matthias Jensen to take. Drifts in the free kick, looks over, hit to me. Pinnock tries to head it back across goal, and the header from João Pedro to clear for Chelsea. It was overhit really because he had to work so hard there, Pinnock, stretching and straining every sinew to try and nod that back across goal, and he couldn't really get much on it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the set play they're working on, is to clip that to the far post towards Pinnock. And once it's overhit, then the second part of the plan doesn't work. Well, Coyote's gone over again for the long throw that they will set up.
A lot of anticipation for this.
Oh, it's back in vogue, big time, isn't it? Tony Pulis.
Yes, it's like 2008 all over again.
Back off holiday to tell everyone about it again.
But then in the end, Dean, they didn't take it long at all. They went short, and the long ball into the box was cleared by Chelsea. Henderson there to win it back. Good industry from Henderson on halfway. Coyote ever tenacious, darting down the left-hand side, taking on Caicedo. Couple of step-overs, there's Caicedo to win it back. Whips it off his toes. That's the job he does so effectively, so well for Chelsea. As Pinnock goes in, robust challenge on Neto, firm but fair. Referee right to allow play to continue. Chelsea have it back with Tosin, but Brentford are giving as good as they're getting so far.
Yeah, good energy, good desire in this London derby from Brentford. Yes, showing respect. I think Keith Andrews will just want a little bit more of a threat. You're at home against this Chelsea team.
The second London derby of the evening in the Premier League. Forward by Henderson for Brentford, looking for Schade. Out comes Sanchez, had a good starting position, close to the edge of his penalty area, and he just has to move outside the 18-yard box to clear. Coyote fouled in the right-back area. And that's another free kick for Brentford, and it's stop-start at the moment, which you feel is probably best suited for the home team.
Yeah, when you get those opportunities to play the ball in behind now, as a midfield player or a defender looking for your centre forward, the ball's got to be perfect, because goalkeepers now, they've got a set of starting blocks set up on the 18-yard box, ready just to sprint out and be almost that sweeper that the defenders want. So that ball in behind has to be perfect, otherwise goalkeepers like Sanchez will be onto it.
You mentioned the London derbies. The earlier London derby finished West Ham, the 10 men of West Ham 0, Tottenham 3, and you will hear from Thomas Frank and the under pressure Graham Potter at half time, so stay with us at the break on Talk Sport. You don't want to go anywhere else. Enzo Fernandez just inside his own half, under pressure, manages to find Tosin. Good sweeping square ball to Chalobah, first time under the attention of Schade. Chalobah for Chelsea with an angled pass, slightly risky. Yarmoleuk couldn't intercept. Enzo Fernandez forward to Fofana. Chelsea plenty forward now in royal blue. Pedro Neto on the overlap, onto the left-footed cross in, swinging, headed away by Coyote. Bravery at the back post to beat Hato to it. And then Igor Thiago tracking back, caught by Buonanotte. Referee plays the advantage. Good decision. Henderson, what a ball over halfway. Schade, only toss in between him and the goal. Schade finds the corner. What a moment for Brentford. Kevin Schade picks up the bottom corner, and are they on their way to a first home league victory over Chelsea for 87 years. Brentford 1, Chelsea 0. What a pass by Jordan Henderson back in the Premier League, and Kevin Schade took it beautifully. Who needs some Burma and Wissa when you've got a finisher like that?
Well, I said that ball in behind has to be perfect nowadays in the Premier League, and it absolutely was from Jordan Henderson, and it was first time. It's something they probably worked on, but when that ball gets laid to Jordan Henderson, Kevin Schade's just twisting and running in behind, using that pace that he's got, gets hold of the ball, takes it in towards Tosin, who does the right thing again. He defends really well again, he stays compact, low to the ground, but this time, as a forward player, you still hit it low, you still hit it hard, as Kevin Schade did, and you hope for a little deflection, and that's exactly what he got. It just comes off Tosin's knee, and it's past Sanchez before he can even blink.
It really did arrow beyond the goalkeeper. It's Schade's goal, and it's Brentford's lead, live on Talk Sport. And you mentioned, Dean, the impact of Burma and Wissa, the goals that Brentford are having to replace. And Schade scored 11 in the Premier League last season, and he is off the mark for this campaign. Will be crucial to Brentford's chances of consolidation again in this league. It is Brentford 1, Chelsea 0 on Talk Sport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. And this kind of performance is like the Brentford that we've become used to seeing in the Premier League, Dean Ashton.
And they're not going to just lose that overnight because the manager's gone. It's what the club has been bred on, is this hunger and humbleness to work for each other, which they've done in this first half. A bit of pressure that they had to withstand from Chelsea, who in the Premier League, if you make changes and you're not quite at it, it's going to be a test. Teams will really test you, and they have the quality to hurt you, as Brentford have done already.
This altered Chelsea lineup, of course there is plenty in terms of reinforcements on the bench for Chelsea should they need them. Schade could be away again. Running infield from the left-hand side. Enzo Fernandez stumbles on the ball, and Chelsea do get the free kick. Enzo Fernandez has gone down and stayed down. Schade looked like he'd got the better of him there momentarily, and he did catch the heel of Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, definitely stood on the side of his foot. Enzo Fernandez just making the referee aware of it, of course.
Well, whatever happens tonight, we'll do our best to bring you a live reaction from the tunnel here at the G-Tech. Enzo Maresca and Keith Andrews, who is on the way to a second victory in charge of the club. But there is still a long way to go. 7 minutes plus added time in the first half. Brentford 1, Chelsea 0 is the score. Chalobah on halfway with plenty of time to ponder his next move, not even under token pressure from Brentford. He's set up to contain Chelsea and hit them on the break. You've got to give so much credit to Jordan Henderson, often much maligned, but an important influence in Thomas Tuchel's England setup, at least for the moment, and that pass was a thing of beauty to set up Schade. Long ball for Chelsea, out comes Kelleher, punches that out of play from the very edge of his 18-yard box. Had to time that.
Yeah, he did, but it's incisive play from the goalkeeper. He's committed to it and followed through with it.
Well, Chelsea have flattered to deceive so far tonight under the lights. Wide they go to the left-hand side, and Gittins, who takes on Coyote, who's had the better of him so far. Nudged forward by Caicedo up the inside left. Here comes Kelleher, and he's very quickly out of his goal to claim. Good work by Coyote defensively to just nudge Gittins there as well, Dean.
Yeah, it's a good battle actually, a good match-up between the two, Coyote and Gittins. He's keeping him honest. Gittins to Coyote with the runs that he's making him behind, but he's stuck to it. You're right to talk about, that's a mistake, isn't it? We won it back, Chelsea. But you're right to talk about Jordan Henderson, because there are going to be times this season, there already have been in this game, when he looks all of his 35 years.
Yep.
But you watch him, the desire he still has, the hunger to work, the quality he's still got when you give him the ball, as we saw with that assist. And he's got a gob on him. He never ever shuts up. It was one thing, certainly, when there was no fans in the stadiums, the one thing you knew was that you could hear Jordan Henderson.
He's the Christian Norgard replacement, isn't he, at Brentford? Another important figure to leave the club during the summer. Henderson, who got some minutes late on there for England in Serbia on Tuesday night. And Chelsea 1-0 down. João Pedro has drifted out to the inside left, and Chalobah to the far side of the field, the right. Fofana out to Pedro Neto, shimmying infield onto his left-hand side. Pedro Neto with a square ball. Chalobah 25 yards out with the shot, and that's miles over the top. Enzo Maresca applauds, but Chelsea have really got in behind the Brentford back five tonight.
No, that's a win for the defensive team. When you see Chalobah sizing up the strike, I'm sure he can strike them at times, but you would be happy and expect your goalkeeper to save an attempt from that distance. And they've just denied the space, both in front of the defence and in behind the defence. Only once I can think where Neto got in behind and it was such a wonderful pass. But João Pedro's getting that frustrated look about him, where he starts to wander out of that centre-forward position because he wants to be involved in the game, and he's probably a bit bored, but then he vacates that space where you want your centre-forward to occupy centre-backs.
Former England striker Dean Ashton with us tonight on another eventful day in the Premier League. Wins for Arsenal, Bournemouth, Fulham, Newcastle and Spurs. A big win at West Ham United earlier this evening. Chelsea on the attack with Pedro Neto gliding down the right-hand side. Again, the left-footed pullback. Enzo Fernandez, edge of the penalty area, blocked off by Collins. Enzo Fernandez nearly wriggles his way through the middle. Buonanotte might do that. Brentford hack it clear, struggling to clear at the moment. Yarmolenko eventually smuggles it away towards the left, and in the end, it's a Brentford throw. And I have to say, the Brentford fans are loving every minute of this at the moment, and why shouldn't they? looking for a first home league win over Chelsea since 1938.
Well, I think they can sense that Chelsea are now frustrated and that defensively they're starting to look stronger.
Well, Sheikh Carruthers has pointed out that Chelsea have got some of the big guns warming up at the moment, including James Cucurella and Cole Palmer. What would many make of a half-time change for Enzo Maresca? It does feel a possibility the way that the game is, with 3 minutes to go until half-time on TalkSport, and Chelsea 1-0 down. A fine Brentford counter-attacking goal finished off by Schade. João Pedro down the left-hand side, left corner of the penalty area, back to Chalobah. And Chalobah, again, it's walking pace this from Chelsea, and Brentford have got all 11 behind the ball. The red and white shirts, a formidable obstacle for Chelsea to overcome tonight. Gittins shuffles infield and shoots right-footed, and it's into the chest of Kelleher, who's able to catch it easily, but that was lively play from the young winger.
Yeah, fake to go down the line, then cut inside and drove towards the edge of the penalty area, just off balance slightly with that curling effort, which took all the pace off the shot, allowing Kelleher just to gather pretty easily. And it's another attack that goes by for Brentford.
So a derby in the capital tonight, and a South Coast derby, a fierce rivalry, is renewed in the Championship tomorrow on TalkSport 2 at noon. Southampton against Portsmouth, one of the most fiercely contested derby matches around. And Chalobah back to toss it in the centre circle, and out to his right is Fofana. Fofana over the halfway line. Caicedo in the centre circle again. On to João Pedro, forward 10 yards, then back to Chalobah. Maresca watches on with his arms folded, turns back towards his dugout and looks at his assistants. Chelsea a little slow to move the ball forward here. Harto square pass out to the right. Enzo Fernandez let it run. Fofana about 35 yards from goal, a long way out. No threat to Brentford at the moment, not imminently anyway. Last minute of normal time at the end of the first half, and Brentford lead by a goal to nil. Tossing square to Chalobah again, back out wide to the far side, and Fofana infield to Enzo Fernandez. It's pass. Chelsea look for João Pedro, 25 yards out, quickly to Caicedo. Buonanote's in the area, and Enzo Fernandez shoots, and it's deflected behind. Well, there must have been 20-30 passes in that move. Free-flowing it suddenly became, and Chelsea unlucky not to equalise. They have a corner.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 touch play in such congested area was superb from Chelsea to eventually open up the chance for Enzo Fernandez, who kicks the floor really before his shot, took all the power off it. Deflection still for a corner though.
It was beautifully done. Corner for Chelsea, seeking an equaliser, in by Enzo Fernandez. That has hit the post. Looked like it may have come off even the side netting, I thought initially, but the play continues here. A minute of added time at the end of the first half. Well, it's a strange thing.
Well, they all left it, didn't they? I think it hit the post and then hit the back of Pinnock and just landed, fortunately, for a Brentford defender to clear.
I think everybody was expecting it to curve into the side netting, and you're right, Dean, just hit the very outside edge of the post. But Brentford have nearly got to half-time, maintaining their 1-0 lead. 30 seconds of the half to go. Coyote gets in front of Gittins, and Coyote in the right back area will try and smuggle it clear. Almost one touch too many, and then a sliced awkward clearance up into the air. Henderson manages to head it away and then hook it further clear up towards Schade. Enzo Fernandez edge of the box, smuggled away by Yarmolenko. Chelsea finishing the half on the attack. Here is Enzo Fernandez on the edge of the D. Square ball to João Pedro, faced up by a sea of Brentford players. João Pedro twists and turns. He lays it out towards Gittins. That is overhit. That sums up the first half for Chelsea. It's out of play. It's a goal kick, and it's half-time. And Brentford are halfway towards a famous win in a game of few chances so far. Kevin Schade with the opening goal. Fine through ball from Jordan Henderson to find him. He still had work to do. Picked out the bottom corner via a deflection. And Chelsea, though they've had large spells of possession and territory, have rarely threatened Kevin Kelleher's goal, and they will miss the chance as it stands to go top of the Premier League table. Brentford 1, Chelsea 0. 3 alterations for Chelsea at half-time, and 3 of the players who were brought into the team tonight are hooked at the break. Off go Fofana, Harto on his full debut, and Buonanotte on his Chelsea debut outright. On come James, Cucurella and Tyrick George, who at one stage looked like he was going to join Fulham earlier on in the transfer window. That move didn't materialise, but it's a real statement triple substitution. You feel that from Enzo Maresca at half-time, an admission that whatever Chelsea were trying to do simply wasn't working, Dean Ashton.
No, and ultimately he realises the seriousness of getting points here at the G-Tech, and when you've got the players available on the bench, they're not injured, he's trying to rest them, but he needs them on the pitch. They are the better players, they've played more football, they're more game ready. Let's see if they can make a real difference, because they're quality players, and I think João Pedro will go into the 10 position with George going through the middle as the 9.
Well, the second half is underway. This is a Chelsea team, remember, with 27 points from their 12 Premier League matches since the start of April coming into today. The best record in the Premier League over that 12-game period, and unbeaten in the top flight through the first 3 matches of this season. But it's Brentford 1, Chelsea 0. The second half is underway, nearly a minute old. Chelsea from left to right have possession, and they are in royal blue with white socks, and Brentford in the familiar red and white striped shirts, black shorts and black socks. Kevin Schade with the only goal of the game for Brentford so far. Beneath the floodlights here, and a famous win, another famous win over Chelsea in prospect for Brentford, though it would be their first at home in the league since before the Second World War. Chelsea have possession out on the far side, but the flag is up, offside against Gittins coming back, and it's a free kick to Brentford, who have Kelleher in goal, Coyote, Collins, Vandenberg, Pinnock and Lewis Potter at the back, Yarmoliuk, Henderson and Jensen, Igor Thiago and Schade. For Chelsea, the goalkeeper is Sanchez, James, Tosin, Chalobah and Cucurella now at the back, Caicedo and Fernandez, Neto, João Pedro and Gittins behind George, who, as Dean said, has started furthest forward for Chelsea. That triple change from Enzo Maresca at half-time, will it help Chelsea work themselves back into the match? They haven't really had a serious effort on goal where Kevin Kelleher, the Brentford goalkeeper, has been seriously tested as yet.
No, and ultimately with that goal that they've got, Brentford, they can afford to sit a little deeper, wait for Chelsea to really commit players forwards and hit them on the break as they're trying to hit.
Jensen looking for Igor Thiago. What an important sliding challenge that was from Chalobah. Well timed, and James has got to win a 50-50 and he hasn't. Lewis Potter gets it back from Yarmoliuk. Lewis Potter's cross headed behind by Tosin. That'll be a Brentford corner away to the left hand side. If Brentford get a second, it could be curtains for Chelsea. I've just seen Enzo Maresca with a raised eyebrow walk back towards the dugout. He looks concerned already.
Well, it was a brilliant sliding challenge in the end from Chalobah. It was too easy for Brentford. Ball through the middle. Schade flicking it on towards Thiago, but Chalobah with a fantastic sliding challenge. And again, just a sloppy pass, and James loses possession. Brentford are onto them again.
I'll give you the 2 sets of subs in just a moment here on TalkSport. Brentford 1, Chelsea 0, with 16,795 here at the G-Tech tonight. 1,700 or so from Chelsea. Jensen to take the corner, back in the team tonight, right-footed in, swinging deep to the back post. Sanchez is there and is able to gather, having stumbled backwards slightly initially. All quick throw out is not a good one. Straight to Yarmoliuk, who's beaten Cucurella down the right into the penalty area. Angle is tight, chips in the cross behind Igor Thiago. Brentford are starting to rack up the chances on the break. Pedro Neto blocked off by Jensen, and it's a Chelsea throw in their right back position, but the Brentford fans are up for this, and so very much are the team on the pitch as well. Brentford 1, Chelsea 0, 4 minutes into the second half.
Oh, and such a sloppy mistake from Sanchez, trying to throw that ball out to Cucurella. Yarmoliuk was there onto it. Should have crossed it first time, took too long, and then didn't pick out the Brentford attacker.
He made his first team breakthrough really last season and has started every Premier League game of this campaign so far. 21 years old, the Ukrainian Yarmoliuk, suddenly becoming an important cog in the Brentford midfield. The Brentford subs were Tara, Valdimarsson, Henry, Janelt, Nelson, Carvalho, Aya, Hickey and Onyeka. And the remaining substitutes for Chelsea, who can only make 2 more, I'll give you them in just a moment as George gets in front of Collins. Collins tussling and drawing a foul and winning a free kick right in front of the head coach Keith Andrews. What a birthday present this result could be as it stands. The Chelsea subs, Gusto, Jorgensen, Achampong, Andre Santos and Palmer and Garnacho, who surely, if it stays 1-0 to Brentford, will be introduced at some point here. The sun has long since set, floodlights are on, Brentford take the free kick quickly. Keane Lewis Potter from the left, right-footed cross, headed away, it'll drop down to the edge of the penalty area, Pinnock hooks it on, James with the back header, cushioned very calmly into the gloves of his goalkeeper, and Chelsea will attack again, raiding down the near side of the field from left to right. We've just seen Fofana and Harto emerge from the tunnel, the 2 players, 2 of the 3 substituted at the break. George in the area now, angle is tight, he shoots, good save Kelleher, got down low. I thought the offside flag was going to go up against George, but it stayed down and Kelleher made an excellent diving save. Corner for Chelsea, that's the first time he's really been stretched in, Ashton.
Yeah, I think because they thought it was offside, they were a bit slow to react. A little step over from George away from Pinnock, really good strike, low, fizzing off the surface. Kelleher with a great right hand to steer that behind.
Replaced the Dutchman, Mark Flecken, in the summer did Kelleher. This is where Chelsea have been really dangerous this season. Corners taken short, James to Gittins, back further to Caicedo, Gittins left corner of the penalty area, smuggled away by Yarmoliuk, and Schade is trying to tear forward, Caicedo gets in front of him, not enough to clear, but the foul is given against Kevin Schade. Brentford are fuming, and Schade has gone down now, holding his head. Caicedo racing to get the ball, and there is a flashpoint for Stuart Atwell to deal with here, and he's calling Caicedo over. The free kick went for Chelsea. Brentford were very upset about that, and now Stuart Atwell is calling over Caicedo, who belatedly trots towards the referee, holding the ball, and it's starting to settle down now.
Well, it was a foul for a start. Kevin Schade on Caicedo, it was a foul, he pulled him back, the referee's given it, of course they're not happy with that, but then not quite sure why then Caicedo was then involved with Kevin Schade off the ball. I think just as Caicedo just gives him a shove, actually, he's not happy with the challenge or the reaction.
And in the end, it's a talking to for both. I think he's got pretty much all the big calls right, Stuart Atwell, although Brentford fans clearly don't agree, but they don't have the benefit of the replays that we've got on our monitor as well.
Not like fans, is it?
Not to be inobjective. Can you believe it?
They want pressure, and that's what Brentford have done. They've put Chelsea under pressure in the way they've defended, not allowing Chelsea to be given the chances.
Brentford 1, Chelsea 0 it remains. Both teams live on TalkSport 2 next midweek, by the way. Brentford here against Villa on Tuesday in the Carabao Cup. Chelsea at Bayern Munich in the Champions League on Wednesday. Tosin clears away for Chelsea. That low ball in by Jensen. It's come out to Coyote. And now it's at the feet of Van den Berg. Starting to cool down a little more here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Forward by Pinnock after a nice bright sunny day in the build-up. Now Yarmoliuk looking to scamper forward down the inside left, but he's well tracked and well tackled by Enzo Fernandez. A clean tackle. Caicedo forward to João Pedro. Lovely neat turn to take Jensen out of the game, and a brilliant ball down the left-hand side. Gittins in a crossing position. Cucurella in support. Cucurella in the penalty area. Right-footed shot. Oh, and it's straight at Kelleher. Either side of him, and the goalkeeper might have had a problem, but Kelleher holds on. We saw for a moment there in the build-up the brilliance and the dazzling feat of João Pedro as Cole Palmer is stripped and ready to come on.
Yeah, it was a stunning turn, the ball on his back foot away from the defender, and then playing Gittins through, and then Cucurella, once it was laid back to him on the edge of the area, wrong decision, going for the strike with his right foot when Enzo Fernandez was there for a pass down the side.
Ticking towards the hour mark now, 10 minutes into the second half, and a very exciting second half in prospect on TalkSport. The Premier League is back, and there is no better place to be than TalkSport. Brentford 1, Chelsea 0. Kelleher long up the middle and a towering header away by Chalobah, though he wasn't really challenged by Igor Thiago, who's not seen much of it in the second half so far. Gittins for Chelsea, looking to use his pace against Coyote. He shuffles away down the left-hand side beyond Coyote to the dead ball line. Deflection on the cross, it's a corner. Right in front of the Chelsea fans, who are really trying to whip up all the noise and encouragement that they can. Here comes Chelsea's number 10, Cole Palmer, back from a groin injury, and they are going to make the change before the corner's taken. And it is Gittins who has looked quite bright, I thought, in the second half, coming off.
Yeah, I think obviously that little burst there was a good bit of work. And you'd expect Neto to go on to the right hand side, Cole Palmer maybe coming on the left.
Well, plenty of time for Chelsea to rescue the situation here from one of these favoured corners, perhaps. Maybe this is where the comeback can start. James dinks it into the near post, and it's cleared away by the first man in the end. Not sure you knew all about it, Pinnock. Chelsea's tossing went down at the near post, but it was merely a tangle of legs. Yarmolenko hooks the ball over his shoulder, high up into the sky. And Chelsea have it again with Caicedo. Everybody back in the Brentford half, bar the Chelsea goalkeeper Sanchez. Brentford looking to hold this 1-0 lead. João Pedro drifting towards the far side left touchline. Back to James it goes. Now toss in from a long way out. Toss it over the top. High ball looking for João Pedro. That's going to bounce towards the dead ball line and out of play for a goal kick. Elsewhere in the Premier League today, Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Ange Postecoglou's first game in charge, ending in defeat. Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1. And Palace 0, Sunderland 0. Everton 0, Villa 0. Fulham 1, Leeds 0. Newcastle 1, Wolves 0. Nick Voltemada with the winner. And West Ham, who finished with 10 men, beaten 3-0 at home by Tottenham. So it's a North London 1 and 2, Arsenal and Spurs as it stands. Chelsea will miss the chance to go top of the Premier League, at least temporarily, as it stands tonight. And Brentford are going to soar up to 9th position, ahead of Burnley against Liverpool in the Manchester derby tomorrow. Goals as they go in on TalkSport. Jordan Henderson with a cross for Brentford. It's deep to the left-hand side, takes a couple of bounces outside the penalty area now. Lewis Potter backwards to Yarmolenko, very tidy, and now Collins on the halfway line. Brentford believe there might be a second goal in the offing for them here as Chelsea look to seek an equaliser. Chalobah on the edge of his own penalty area, and for the neutral and certainly for the Brentford fans and Keith Andrews, Dean, it is really fascinatingly poised with nearly an hour gone.
Yeah, and of course with the changes that Maresca's made, with Palmer, Reece James, Cucurella, they're real main men on the Chelsea side, all now on, all needed to rescue this game. Brentford still comfortable though.
Palmer looking to dart down the middle, but he's blocked off by Jensen. Jensen's clever chip over the top. Schade in a foot race with Tosin. Tosin very composed, brought it down neatly, back to Sanchez. He's a good ball-playing defender, Tosin. Now Enzo Fernandez over the halfway line, and Yarmolenko halting his run, holding him up and forcing him to stop and go back in field. Enzo Fernandez now with an angled pass to the right-hand side. Neto taking on Lewis Potter. Neto always looking to work it onto that favoured left foot. Looks for Enzo Fernandez, back to goal. What a reverse ball that is. Into the path of Pedro Neto. Cross into the penalty area, tucked behind by Coyote. Corner to Chelsea.
Yeah, really well worked, wasn't it, Enzo Fernandez, with a reverse pass in towards Neto. And then he does the right thing. He puts a lovely ball right in between the goalkeeper and the defensive line, and all the Chelsea players step back for the pullback. They just didn't change it up between them. and they all stepped backwards instead of at least one of them stepping forwards for a tap-in.
Corner's taken short. Palmer level with the edge of the penalty area. Back to Caicedo, midway inside Brentford territory. Brentford with everyone back in red and white. Palmer into Neto in the area, chips in the cross and away by Jordan Henderson. Chelsea looking to the wing positions to provide the creativity, but it's not happening for them just yet. Palmer, who glides across towards the left and delivers a high ball which is headed away by Igor Thiago, who was looking for Chalobah at the far post. Was Palmer, has that elegant fluid style as Henderson knocks the ball over halfway. And it's quite lively in the technical areas now. Enzo Maresca watches on as Cole Palmer strides forward towards the left. Cucurella with the curly hair on the overlap. Cucurella on as a half-time sub. Back to Reece James, concise but shot on his left foot, and that hits Pinnock and deflects away. Then Caicedo throws himself at Schade. I thought he got the ball. Schade has retrieved it anyway. Back to Van den Berg, who scoops it long, headed down by Caicedo. Chelsea from left to right will come again. 1-0 behind, but for how much longer? On Talk Sport, with at least half an hour still to play. Chelsea's unbeaten start in the Premier League is under threat. Enzo Fernandez inside right, dinks in the delivery. João Pedro heads it down. Palmer! He's off the mark, and Chelsea are back level. Cool as ice. Cole Palmer does it again, just minutes after taking to the field, and it's Brentford 1, Chelsea 1. He just steered that into the bottom corner, beyond Kelleher. Cole Palmer's first of the season, and Chelsea are level.
It's becoming his trademark, isn't it, that finish? When everybody else would tend to just slash at it. Not Cole Palmer. It's the coolest of side foots. It's on the half volley. It's such a difficult skill. He makes it look so easy. The ball to the back post, João Pedro gets up, it clips off his head, it lands towards Cole Palmer. He takes two lovely little shuffled steps towards it just to settle himself, and then on the half volley he catches it so clean and just passes it right into the corner. It's just so delightful and so easy to watch from Cole Palmer.
Well, you can't say that it hasn't been coming. 61 minutes in and Chelsea are level. Igor Thiago at the other end with a deep looping cross. Underneath it is Jensen, and now Schade on the half volley, chipped away by Sanchez. Oh, Brentford were nearly back in front straight away, but we have got quite the West London derby on our hands tonight.
That's a really good save. Really good save from Sanchez on the turn. The swivel from Schade to flick it up to himself, turn and volley, takes a deflection as well off Reece James, and he has to scramble to his right hand side, full stretch Sanchez, and the fingertips round the post.
He had to really plunge, didn't he, the goalkeeper? Very difficult save, and he just got fingertips to it. So it's 1-1 now on Talk Sport. Chelsea fans very loud away to the right, but the corner at the opposite end for Brentford, hoisted in by Jensen, deep towards Pinnock at the back post, and that's going to drift wide on the volley. Goal kick to Chelsea. How do Brentford stem the flow at the moment, Dean Ashton?
I mean, look, it's very difficult when you're up against a quality side. What Chelsea have done very well in this second half is every loose ball that's been cleared by Brentford, Chelsea have won it. So it's just that constant pressure and momentum that you can build against a side who will start to fatigue with the amount of work they're having to do out of possession. But they've got to stay strong, Brentford, and still believe actually that there might be gaps for them to counter-attack in. But it's been the big change for Brentford so far this season. When I was looking at what is the difference, well, last season, possession won in the final third, which is pretty much how high you win the ball up. They were fourth in the Premier League. They're last this season. They're very deep this season.
Palmer, the goal scorer, breaking between the lines and fouled by Yarmolenko. That will be a yellow card, I think, yes. And a free kick to Chelsea, left of centre, about 35 yards out. It is Brentford 1, Chelsea 1 on Talk Sport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream the Premier League flexibly with a Now Sports day or month membership. 18 plus, stream via internet. Terms apply.
I think that groin injury's all right, isn't it, for Palmer?
I was just going to say that.
Finish was magnificent, and then
I think he's got over it now.
That turn and swivel and bit of skill to get, look, yellow carded was superb too. Now there's about 6 that feel like they can take this free kick.
Do they shoot?
Probably. I think Reece James you'd expect to be favourite, even though Cole Palmer and even Pedro Neto wants it too. One by one they'll step away, I'm sure.
1-1 here, 20 minutes into the second half, and is it slipping away from Brentford? 1-1 now. Chelsea free kick, 30 yards out, a shade left of centre. James and Palmer sizing it up. It is Palmer left-footed into the wall, comes back to Palmer, and the rebound is blocked by Igor Thiago as well, who's racing down the middle to try and beat Tosin, and he has got there ahead of Tosin. Igor Thiago down the right-hand side. Jensen in support. Jensen, he can't get to the pass because it's a really poor one. Straight out of play from the Brazilian, the former club record signing.
I mean, that was such brilliant work from Thiago. It was him that blocked the Palmer strike almost on the edge of his own box, and then he won the ball in the attacking half. Sprinting forwards, he's now got a bit of cramp.
Well, it was a determined run that nearly led to a half chance at least. Cole Palmer's equaliser. Interestingly, his first non-penalty goal in the Premier League since January. This is 18th appearance in the Premier League since then. Pinnock on the stretch is able to nudge the ball clear for Brentford. Lewis Potter hooks it down the left-hand side, clever towards Yarmoliuk, who's wriggled infield away from Enzo Fernandez. Big diagonal out to the right. Thiago is there, nods it down. Jensen goes for it. Sanchez beat him to it. Lovely football by Brentford. Direct, yes, but good to watch.
Yeah, direct with quality and good movement, that's for sure.
Chelsea look over the top for Pedro Neto. Meanwhile, Pinnock can't get back. Pedro Neto blocked by Pinnock. What a sliding challenge that was. Maybe Collins got something on it as well. Neto into the penalty area, and he reached the edge of the 6-yard box, and Pinnock and Collins between them did enough to keep Chelsea from taking the lead for the first time.
Yeah, he was really straining Pinnock, wasn't he? Neto had the pace, flicked it inside, but he didn't give up. Ethan Pinnock, he hasn't his whole career. That's why he's here. There was no way he was going to let Neto get that strike in easy, and he stretched with everything to make a fantastic block.
So 1-1 as we come towards the final quarter of the game, and Betfair, our official betting partner of our Premier League coverage on TalkSport, has the odds. Brentford to win at 9-2, back the draw at 6-5, and Chelsea to win 5-4 on. That's all thanks to Betfair. They're playing a different league this season with safe sub from Betfair 18+, and do visit gambleaware.org. And now Dango Ouattara, stripped and ready to go in the red and white of Brentford, likewise Rico Henry. Ouattara is certainly a formidable attacking outlet, but you'd expect it'll be one of the front two who goes off rather than any change of shape.
Yeah, you just wonder. Obviously Lewis Potter could go further forwards as well if he did want to change the system. Keith Andrews, we'll see.
Brentford free kick, right edge of the centre circle. And square ball to Jensen, who pings it on the diagonal, headed back across by Collins towards Igor Thiago, who had a lunge at it. Tosin was in the way initially. Chelsea hammer the ball clear into the dark evening sky. This is TalkSport. It's 1-1. Henderson's cross, charged down. Brentford against Chelsea. Schade gave Brentford a half-time lead. Cole Palmer off the bench to equalise almost instantly for Chelsea. Long throw coming up for Brentford now from the right wing position, far side of the field to us. Coyote is going to hurl this in. He's got quite a run up from the advertising hoarding here, Michael Coyote. Here it comes, long towards the near post, but the referee has spotted a foul. Although, are they going to get a chance to take it again? Sanchez has just pinged the ball over the halfway line, and I don't think the referee's going to see that as a so-called delay to the restart.
No, I think Neto is in there to just disrupt Thiago, not allow him a free run at the ball. I think teams are doing that now. They've got almost blockers on the threat from set plays, and Thiago just pushed him over basically.
So take two for the long throw of Michael Coyote. Here it comes, high towards Pinnock. Tosin gets his head to it, and then Kukurea beats Collins to the ball. Play goes on. Yarmolenko back into the penalty area. Up went Van den Berg, headed away now by Enzo Fernandez. Palmer on the volley, cushions the ball out to the right. Neto, not a great first touch, but it's hit Schade, and it's a Chelsea throw in front of the Brentford dugout on the near side. 1-1.
Yeah, and they really do set it up, don't they? That Coyote long throw, all within the 6-yard box. It's going right into that area. Real danger. I'm actually spending a bit of time with Rory Delap in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yes.
Can't wait for him to actually finally talk about a long throw and people actually listen to him.
Well, he was the master.
Exactly.
Stoke City days, I don't think the weapon that was his long throw has ever been beaten. I remember once a goalkeeper kicking it out of play for a corner because he'd rather defend that than a Roy Delap long throw.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think it was when Stoke played Hull City a long time ago. Headed by Coyote up into the air, not very far. It's going to drop down to the left wing position for Chelsea. Tyrick George is there. George, who nearly made the move, not very far at all, to Craven Cottage and Fulham in the transfer window, but has ended up staying at Stamford Bridge. Pedro Neto in swinging cross, deep to the back post. George coming in, headed behind by Coyote. Brentford will be very happy the way the game is going if they leave with a point. And they want to make this double change, but they're going to wait until after the corner's taken. Short from James to Palmer for Chelsea, been all Chelsea for the most part in the second half. Tyrick George, long way out, dink over the top. Kukurea heads it down. Pedro Neto with a rising drive, and it was charged down bravely by Yarmolenko. Now Palmer out in the left wing position. Palmer shoves infield away from the defender. Palmer to the dead ball line, looks for João Pedro, back to goal. Enzo Fernandez. Kelleher sprawling at his feet, got something on it, hit Enzo Fernandez and goes behind for a goal kick.
Oh, they just made a sly mess of it at the end. Cole Palmer on the left-hand side. Lovely bit of skill to get away from 2 or 3. Played it into João Pedro, back heel to Enzo Fernandez, and he couldn't get hold of it. Right in front of Kelleher, who didn't get a touch on it in the end.
So Jensen and Thiago go off. On come Henry and Ouattara. The club record signing, 42 million, scored the winner in his full debut against Aston Villa in the first home game of the Premier League campaign. Jensen with a very slow walk off, and I think you're absolutely right, Dean. There is going to be some kind of switch, and I think it involves Lewis Potter, as you said, pushing further forward.
I think so. Possibly more to or is it a back four? No, I mean, Ethan Pinnock's playing as a centre forward, so that can't be right, surely.
Maybe temporarily for that set piece as Brentford launched.
I think it's going to be more of a front three, I would say, rather than a 2, with Lewis Potter, Ouattara and Schade as the front 3, and then Henderson, Yarmolenko as the 2 midfield players.
Well, we are here with you at the GTEC until 10:30 tonight on Talk Sport, and we hope to bring you live reaction from Enzo Maresca and Keith Andrews after the game. And then the return of the Champions League next week to the network. Arsenal in action on Tuesday, Liverpool and Chelsea in action across the network on Wednesday, and it's the turn of Newcastle and Manchester City on Thursday. All the games involving those English sides in the Champions League are live on the TalkSport network. It's a good idea to download our app if you can, free and easy to download, and then you can access all of our commentary schedules. You can swipe between the 2 stations and watch live shows as well. Pinnock is just over halfway for Brentford. A very precise pass towards Schade, who lodges it back to Pinnock. Pinnock out to the left-hand side. Henry, first touch since coming on, and he's given it away to Pedro Neto, who's nodded it down and is running onto it into the penalty area now. Angle is slightly against him, nudges it square. Palmer's there again. What a save by Kelleher, and he holds on to the ball as well. Palmer denied after wonderful build-up from Pedro Neto. Chelsea will come again. 1-1 the score. Just over 15 minutes to go. Reece James surges down the inside right back heel, hits the defender Pinnock, and he has drawn a foul.
Big chance, isn't it, for Cole Palmer? No pressure on him. It's a mistake by Henry. Pedro Neto then just drives all the way to the corner of the 18-yard box, cuts it back behind João Pedro to Palmer, but Kelleher reads him. Again, he goes for that side foot. He thinks he's just going to side foot it into the corner. Instead, Kelleher reads it, dives the right way, and makes a comfortable save. Really, really good goalkeeping.
Well, Rico Henry with the mistake. He's not played a lot of football at all in recent seasons because of injury problems, but hasn't really switched on there. Still, Brentford 1, Chelsea 1, and I'm sure we haven't seen the end of the chances yet, with a quarter of an hour plus stoppage time to go.
No, I'm sure, but Palmer should score. I mean, it is a well-read bit of goalkeeping from Kelleher. Palmer expects to score there. He's on the half-turn now.
Trying to break between the lines, couldn't quite hold up possession. Brentford have it with Henry, the left wing back, and Collins on the edge of his own box has to hurriedly hook the ball down the middle, safety first. Chalobah gets in front of Jordan Henderson. Henderson nudges the ball, pokes it up the right. And Ouattara is there in front of Cucurella with time to cross. He's not really been closed down. Cucurella's backing off, and Ouattara goes on. Cucurella eventually makes a well-timed challenge. It's a corner to Brentford.
Yeah, it was good play by Ouattara, really driving at Cucurella and then faking to cross, looking to chop down to the byline. Cucurella just about did enough as he was off balance.
Well, here come the red and white shirts, and in front of the home end here at the G-Tech, Brentford fans on their feet, everybody behind that goal. Lewis Potter comes across. A lot of encouragement for Keith Andrews tonight, no doubt about it. Even if Brentford are to end up on the losing side, it's 1-1 at the moment, and of course they can still win it. And Garnacho warming up for Chelsea now. Still not 100% there in terms of fitness, says Maresca. Corner from Lewis Potter, poor. He gets it back from Palmer. He's got another chance to deliver. Steers it backwards. Henderson high, looping. Collins at the back post, nods it down. Henry, overhead kick. Out comes the goalkeeper, and he's got there first. Sanchez was able to beat Schade to it. He actually got nothing on it really, Henry. It was a slice in the end, wasn't it, Dean?
Yeah, it was never really under control for any of the Brentford players. Deep cross by Henderson, Collins nodding it back, and then Henry not getting the contact he wanted.
Cucurella for Chelsea can't smuggle it through the middle. This game could go either way. Premier League football, just as we like it on TalkSport. Garnacho's going to come on shortly. Rico Henry raining down the near side. Brentford fans get to their feet. Henry delivers, and it's headed away by Tossic. Neto will get to the second ball and hammer it off the head of Henry. Out of play it goes, but they're delighted to see him back as Alejandro Garnacho is stripped and ready to come on. Number 49 on the back of his royal blue shirt, and he will become Chelsea's latest debutant in just a few moments. Palmer for Chelsea, out on the left-hand side, far side of the field as we look at it. In support is Tyrick George, taking on Coyote and whipping in and in, swinging cross to the back post. Pedro Neto allowed to bring it down on his chest, and he's whipped a delivery of his own in, only half away, and then nudged further clear by Pinnock. Schade trying to break. There is a very open feel to the game now. It doesn't really seem like either team has got it fully under control. Even with all of Chelsea's quality, they've been made to work hard. James wins a free kick, but Stuart Atwell wants, when he stops it, because Chelsea are going to make the change, and off goes João Pedro, and here comes Alejandro Garnacho, the £40 million man from Manchester United. His first appearance since the Europa League final in May. Garnacho on for his Chelsea debut.
And the way footballers and certainly attacking players think about the game, this is perfect for him. He will love this. He'll think, this is it, perfect. 1-1, I come on, score the winner for my new club, I'm the hero. This is what you've been thinking about all afternoon.
Yep, that's what he was dreaming about last night. Brentford 1, Chelsea 1, Garnacho on. 10 minutes left. You certainly wouldn't begrudge Brentford a point here, but Chelsea have got so much attacking quality on the field. Can Brentford hold out? Neto, right corner of the penalty area, back to Reece James, square to Caicedo, James again, now tossing forward to Enzo Fernandez. He looks up and finds Neto in the right wing position. Chelsea set to miss the chance to go top, not that it is hugely significant at this stage of the season, the very much early stages of the Premier League campaign. We'll have reaction for you tomorrow morning on Weekend Sports Breakfast with the former Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino alongside Shabana Hearn. Here is Caicedo to dink it a first time cross. Back post was Garnacho, tried to turn it back across goal. Brentford have defended heroically at times in the game. It's cleared away. James midway inside the Brentford half, a clever Cruyff turn and a foul by Henderson and a free kick to Chelsea in a relatively dangerous area.
Yeah, there is a bit of fatigue setting, isn't there? They're so deep now. Brentford as a team, allowing crosses into their area. That back three have done incredibly well though for most of the game. Vandenberg, Collins and Pinnock, but it's becoming harder.
And Chelsea take the free kick and it's dinked into the box by Neto. In the end it eludes everybody, including Enzo Fernandez at the far post. And Brentford, I think it'll be Christopher Ayer to come on shortly. Brentford 1, Chelsea 1 on Talk Sport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. Now, because of the delay to the taking of the Brentford throw, Pinnock gets booked. There's a pretty clear intent there to delay the throw, so you can't argue with the referee. Aaron Hickey also ready to come on for Brentford, and great to see him back, hopefully fully fit again for a long time after such bad luck with injuries in the last couple of years. Aaron Hickey not made a Premier League start since playing against Chelsea for Brentford in October 2023. Schade hooks the ball down the middle, but it had already gone out of play for a Chelsea throw. So Hickey and Ayer it will be. Pinnock is the first player to leave the field. First Premier League appearance of the season, with Ayer his replacement.
And post number 33, Michael Coyote.
It's a straight swap too in the wing-back position. Hickey for Coyote, who's continuing the under-21 Italy international to make a name for himself.
Yeah, he is. Both him and Pinnock have been excellent in their defensive work. But again, just that bit of freshness, I think, defensively to try and, I would say, see this game and take a point, which they would have been really happy with at the start of the game.
They are 7 minutes away from doing so. 7 minutes plus added time here, Brentford, between them and an important draw to move them up to 4 points from 4 matches. They will definitely feel they should have got at least a point at Sunderland, but they conceded very late at the Stadium of Light. Header away by Hickey, first touch for him. Away on the far side in the wing-back position, and Ouattara has forced an error from Cucurella, and that's another Brentford throw. Chelsea, Dean Ashton, much better in the second half, but if they don't leave with a win, then the damage was done in the first.
Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it? But ultimately, he's brought on the top players. They have made a difference. Obviously, Palmer's goal drawing them level, and there's still time in this game to get the winner.
It certainly is. A flick towards Sharda for Brentford midway inside the Chelsea half, but Chalobah's there to beat him to it. Reece James for Chelsea, right back area, over the halfway line, and he finds Pedro Neto. One-on-one with Henry, back infield to James again. James for Chelsea, square to Palmer, away from Henderson, and he's knocked it wide to Garnacho, raining down the left-hand side, pulls it back, Palmer couldn't get there, it's come out to Moises Caicedo, oh, he's rifled it in, what a strike! Chelsea have surely won it! Moises Caicedo with a rasping drive, they've left it late, but Chelsea are surely going top of the Premier League table. That almost burst the net, and Caicedo races across to celebrate with the Chelsea fans. Brentford hearts broken, Brentford 1, Chelsea 2.
Middle of the ball, absolutely smashed by Moises Caicedo. He had too much time, they just didn't have the legs, Brentford, to get out to him. He took 2 touches on the edge of the area just to size up the strike, and then he powers his right foot, the laces right through the back of the ball, past Nathan Collins, out of the eyesight of Keller, who can't move quick enough to his right hand side. Caicedo gives Chelsea the lead.
And Garnacho heavily involved in the build-up. The player may be reborn at Stamford Bridge, but who would have thought at this stage that Moises Caicedo would have 2 goals for the Premier League season, but he really can hit them, and he certainly did there. Had the time and space from the edge of the area, just lashed it beyond Kelleher with 5 minutes to go. Chelsea are in front for the first time in the game. You have to credit them for the character and the resolve that they've shown to come back.
I think what they've done is they've worn Brentford down, haven't they, with the intensity in this second half, out of possession to win every second ball and keep the momentum and the pressure on Brentford, who just couldn't get out then towards Caicedo. It was Garnacho's work down the left, the cross in that was cleared.
Here come Brentford with Hickey, inside right, out to the far side, with Tara twisting and teasing Cucurella, no ball in, oh, Sanchez, I don't know what happened there, he turned it away, unorthodox, the goalkeeper, did he kick that off the line?
I think he managed to get down to his left-hand side, it must take a deflection surely. Ouattara with some great work, takes a wicked deflection towards the near post, he gets down low with his left hand to save at his near post.
Now down goes Palmer, Chelsea's main man, and now he gets up to his feet. No need for the physio to come on. And Chelsea have still got defensive work to do. The Brentford fans are furious. They're packed all around us here. Brentford 1, Chelsea 2 on TalkSport. Could be a photo finish coming up here. 2.5 minutes plus added time left. And it's a Brentford long throw with Coyote off the pitch. Sharda takes it very long into the penalty area. Sanchez makes a reaction save. The ball bounced up off Collins, and Sanchez is there again to keep Brentford out.
Well, he's got no interest in actually coming for the ball. There was a player in front of him, but he couldn't quite see the ball. Sanchez, it bounced right in front of him, he flicked it over.
Well, they want to get Fabio Carvalho on shortly here, Brentford. They've got a corner. Could be a heartbreaking defeat this for Keith Andrews. Lewis Potter's delivery. Is there still something in it for Brentford? 89th minute. Lewis Potter in high. Ayer with the downward header, and not enough power behind it. Sanchez gathers. And he's gone down. Well, not a lot the referee can do other than stop the game. It could be a genuine injury, but now goalkeepers go down a lot.
And ultimately, you know, Brentford were time wasting only a few minutes ago, and that was fine. All of a sudden you're behind, and then you don't like it when the opposition do it. It's part of football. He's trying to wind down the clock. Sanchez, I think, did take a whack to the thigh when he collected the ball, but still it's so frustrating when you want the ball back and want the game to continue.
Last change for Brentford. Carvalho for Lewis Potter it is. Sanchez on his feet again, and Brentford have got to go direct. The gamble of the changes that they've made doesn't appear to have paid off. There will be quite a bit of added time, you would think, here on TalkSport. Brentford's next game is here in the third round of the League Cup against Aston Villa. It's live on TalkSport 2 next Tuesday evening, 8 o'clock kickoff. Brentford 17th in the Premier League as it stands. Long high ball by Sanchez, clears it away for Chelsea. Fourth official now, holding that electronic board. Last few seconds of normal time, how much additional time to come? Sharda's clever flick, but he did foul James in doing so as we go into 6 added minutes, or did he, Dean Ashton?
No, I'm not sure he did. I thought he got across Reece James there, won the header. Carvalho to run onto. Got a bit fortunate there, Reece James.
Well, the Chelsea fans are absolutely jubilant. Forward go Chelsea towards Tyreek George, one back by Collins, who darts away from George and is tripped by him, and George didn't like the reaction of Collins, and now they almost go head to head. Referee Stuart Atwell gets in between them. It'll be a Brentford free kick when it's all cleared up. Yellow card for George.
Yeah, and they send all three centre-backs forward. Even though the free kick is well in their own half, this will be launched forwards.
A minute of the 6 added has been played here in West London. Brentford 1, Chelsea 2. Long from Kelleher, the flick by Collins, only as far as Pedro Neto, who eats up some ground and then manages to buy Chelsea some time as well. It's a throw in their right back position. James being spoken to by the fourth official. Enzo Fernandez has just hooked the ball down the middle. James took his time with the throw. Collins backheaded to Kelleher, but as you say, Dean Ashton, I mean, every team does it really. Brentford were doing it earlier on. They've seen their 1-0 lead wiped out. Chelsea are 2-1 in front. Into the second minute of 6 added at the end of the game, and Rico Henry has won a free kick, I think, right in front of the near side touchline, very close to where we are, right in front of the Brentford head coach Keith Andrews. And Pedro Neto's trying to delay the taking of it. Brentford again send Van den Berg, Collins and Ayer forward.
Yeah, it's time just to see if you can get on the end of a flick on. Second ball.
Big diagonal, Carvalho nodded down towards Van den Berg, but away. Thundering clearance by Chalobah, high up to halfway. Chelsea 3.5 minutes from victory. James climbs to nod it clear out of play from the right back position. They had to make a triple change at half time. Chelsea, Enzo Maresca felt the situation warranted it, and he has been proven right with Chelsea's response in the second half. It's going to be 3 wins from 4 for them, unless Brentford can do something here. Long throw by Sharda, flicked on, it's in! Can you believe it? And it's the man off the bench, Fabio Carvalho! The former Fulham man has levelled it for Brentford in the West London derby. It's 2-2 in stoppage time.
Long live the long throw. It will always cause problems. It will always give difficulty to goalkeeper. Sanchez hasn't got to grips with it at all. He's in there fighting with defenders. It bounces, it's flicked on by Nathan Collins, And who's there? Who's just gambling at the back post just to see if it falls? Is the substitute Carvalho. It's the simplest of tasks, just to side foot it in at the back post as Sanchez goes diving. But the long throw works again.
And Brentford have got their equaliser. And the Bees have really stung Chelsea late on here. 2-2 on TalkSport, and Carvalho is there to snap up the chance. Stuart Atwell having a word with James, and there's a VAR check taking place. Was there an offside? Was it Ouattara at the near post? No. Goal given. Check complete. 2-2.
Yeah, I think they were just checking to see if Ouattara had any influence on where the ball landed between Reece James and Vandenberg, and it didn't. It didn't make any difference.
Well, Brentford for their endeavour application. You feel they deserve it. And that goal came in the 4th minute of added time. 1 to go. Brentford 2, Chelsea 2. And with the Premier League back, we've saved the best till last, I think. As Garnacho tries to loop in a pullback for Chelsea. It's over the head of Palmer. Cleared away. Ouattara trying to tear towards halfway. Ouattara steers the ball forward. It's intercepted. Enzo Fernandez. Palmer breaking between the lines. Onto the left foot. In towards Garnacho. Crossing position. Palmer! Over the top. On the left foot with the half volley. Heart in mouth moment for Brentford. Stays 2-2.
Oh, it's a good chance again. Garnacho with the pullback. Cole Palmer this time on the half volley, but with the laces, difficult technique. Gets underneath it. That's a big chance to have won it for Chelsea.
Well, just 10 seconds of the 6 added remain. Listen to the Brentford fans. Hey Jude will be allowed one tonight, even to celebrate what looks like being just a point. Headed by George on the halfway line, nodded forward by Henderson. Cucurella clears away. Alejandro Garnacho out on the left-hand side, one-on-one with Hickey. Garnacho left edge of the area, great low ball in, but nobody's got the killer instinct to get there. Goal kick.
I mean, that's unacceptable when you want to win the game. Your winger goes down the left-hand side, puts in a fantastic cross right behind the defence, and you haven't got anybody there. You haven't got anybody busting a gut to make sure they're in there to win the game for you. That's just unacceptable at this time in the game.
2-2. We've played nearly 97 minutes. Kelleher clears, and that's the full-time whistle. It's stinging the tail at Brentford for Chelsea. They missed the chance to go top, and what drama right at the end. Really, it was a game in large parts shaped by substitutions. Brentford were 1-0 up at the break to Kevin Schade, and then Enzo Maresca saw fit to make a triple change. That brought Chelsea back into it, and Cole Palmer off the bench to get them level with his first of the season to make it 1-1. It looked like Moises Caicedo would run it 5 minutes from the end, but Brentford was simply not to be denied. They got a point that in the end you feel they deserve, and for Keith Andrews there will be a real sense that they are showing enough, certainly that they've showed enough in 97 minutes tonight to suggest that they can compete and survive in the Premier League once again this season. It is 2 points drop for Chelsea. Brentford 2, Chelsea 2.